Greetings and salutations to our fine podcast audience. I got tongue-tied. Fine podcast audience, episode 89.
89.
How close are we to 100?
11.
We're 11
That's just
away.
math.
He can do math.
Math.
And I say that like it matters.
Or as they say in the rest of the world, maths.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, you have so many maths.
Okay.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
I haven't been to other parts of the world, Ed, so I didn't know that.
A world traveler.
Yeah, I'm not a world traveler, but I have traveled some.
And
He's a man of
I've
the world.
watched Canadian television.
Really?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I'm just saying that's how they say it. I know. So
Better than American?
I also have a really, really good friend who's Canadian, so he doesn't say it that way. He does not enjoy Canada, and so does not.
He's here?
go back. He's here.
Okay. So that's probably one.
There you go.
So, all right. So today, as I promised last week, we got a question somebody sent us, and it's a question I don't think anybody's ever asked me before. Maybe. I don't think so. So we'll see what we can do with this one. But before we do,
You have promised a little fun.
I had a little fun, and it was, I stumbled upon this, and I just thought, as soon as I saw it, I thought, oh, I got to talk to Ed and Nathan about this.
Well, I'm glad you thought.
I did think of you immediately. I literally just saw this minutes before we came in here to tape.
Okay.
And so it's very fresh, and I don't have a whole lot.
off the presses.
Hot off the presses. I don't have a lot of stuff to read about it. I'm just telling you that something out there exists that I found absolutely hilarious that I think
right.
you also will find hilarious.
I will just say, Jason.
Yes.
This is what is destroying social media. Someone who just read one thing,
I did.
and
I
is
did.
sharing it. They don't know if it's real.
I did.
I did see a conversation with someone on Facebook recently that's what they shared something,
Mm-hmm.
and someone came out and was like, this has been debunked, and they said, I don't read the articles. I only read the headlines. It's not my job. And they said this in a very defensive
Wow.
sense. I thought, well, good for you for admitting I don't actually.
I'm going to
read
become
any-
the person that goes, I don't read the headlines, the article. I look at the picture and determine what I want to out of the picture.
I look at the picture with one eye closed. If I sort of get it, then it's fine. I stare into the sun moments before, look down with my blurred vision. If it looks good, I
So
post it.
here's the deal. I did read this article.
Okay.
I did go to the website to verify that this is real.
I just want to
and
say
it
that
is
of-
out there.
a lot
Of the
of
three of us, you were the expert.
I am.
That's true. Probably in most things.
Whatever that is, whatever that means. Okay, so here's my question. We have a chain of restaurants in our great country that are
Only one?
very popular.
Oh, okay.
It's very popular, especially around these parts, especially among our brothers and sisters in Christ who really love
Oh, I
fried
know what
chicken.
you mean. The Christian
Waffle
chicken.
House. Oh, no, sorry. Oh, sorry.
That would be popular among me.
Gotcha. Sorry. Okay.
And full disclaimer, my daughter also is employed by Chick-fil-A.
Okay, so then
Okay,
everything
hang
you
on.
say-
Conflict of interest.
Yeah, Jason can't talk about
Conflict of interest. I don't like this.
So,
all right.
and-
So Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A. So what we also know about Chick-fil-A
this.
is
Christian Chicken is come
They
on
have
to
a-
our podcast.
they have
Sponsored
a-
by Chick-fil-A.
not really. We also know that they have a very distinct business model wherein they do not serve their chicken on certain day of the week.
Oh,
On a Sunday.
Say on certain types
On
of
a
bread.
certain day of
I
the
was
week.
like, all right.
This is all a part of the setup, Nathan.
anti-flat.
Play along. This is all a part of the setup.
Not serving
They
on
do not
Sunday.
serve their chicken on Sundays, and they have their reasons for that. But to the people out there who may not be exactly the greatest fans of Chick-fil-A in that they have that business model, but they do like to eat the chicken.
Yep.
Okay.
That poses a problem.
Yeah, there's a black market for Chick-fil-A.
Okay.
There is now this is true, there is now a group of a business model out there. They have created a business model that if you will put in a request during the week, they will send you a link on like Friday or Saturday, and if you happen to be in their certain delivery zones that they're going to have around the country, that they will bring you a freshly warmed up by a chef version of a Chick-fil-A sandwich on Sunday.
All right.
All right.
So I can either have a Chick-fil-A on Saturday that was cooked by a 16-year-old high school student.
Yes.
Or I can have a professional chef cook me on
well, he's not cooking it. No.
He
You
put
missed
it in the microwave.
Well, they are going. What they're going to do is they're going to go buy up a bunch of Chick-fil-A sandwiches,
Right.
and then on Sunday they say a chef is going to warm it up in a very I don't know,
chefy
kind of way, and they're
He's
gonna
cut it in little pieces and put a sauce around it.
I don't know. But they're going to bring it to you, and they promise it will be as tasty and fresh as if you bought it the day before.
Now,
Okay.
Now,
I don't mean to
here's-
poke holes in their business model. What would stop, I don't know, me from going to Chick-fil-A on Saturday, buying it, and putting it in my oven?
I don't think
I don't
anything
think
is
you're
stopping
a
you.
chef.
But
I
here's
think that's the first thing. You are not a chef.
What stops me from calling myself a chef?
maybe your cooking ability. I don't know. Now, I haven't yet shared with you to me the funniest part of this. This business is by a group known as MSCHF, which is a
Mississippi.
no.
Oh.
If you look at it, it's read mischief. This is the same company that did the Satan shoes. You remember that?
Oh,
They
yeah.
they like to troll Christian businesses and stuff. And here's the kicker: the chicken sandwich that you buy that you get on Sunday costs $6.66.
All right.
That's pretty ingenious on their part.
I thought it was brilliant.
Yeah.
That's good for them.
They're being really, really clever. If you go to the website, which if you want to see it, it is mschfsundayservice.com.
Sunday service. I like
And what's funny is when you go to the landing page, it throws up and it says, shouldn't, Christian chicken be served on Sundays? And then the two options are hell no or heaven yes or something like that. And no matter which one you click, you go to the same website. And then it brings up this thing and it says, when do you want your chicken? And you click it and you order it, and then it tells you the whole process. And then they promise if you wind up because I guess they've got people out there trying to buy up a bunch of chicken on Saturday, Chick-fil-A on Saturdays, they'll bring it to you and deliver
Is
it to
this
your door.
available in our region? Where is this
Well,
available?
I didn't go that deep into it, Nathan. I don't know if that's available, but I will say this: we got more Chick-fil-A's in any part of the country, so
I would think so.
maybe
We're
we
right
could.
near the headquarters.
We should try it. We should. People think we're going to go to hell for this, but we should try it
Chick-fil-A?
and see if we could get Chick-fil-A on Sundays through this new service. I just think it would be hilarious.
I think it'd be hilarious if we were sponsored by Mischief.
I think they're kind of opposite of what we are.
I know, but I'm constantly looking for sponsors.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's true. That's
Get-
true.
Get some chicken.
I don't mean constantly. I mention it occasionally.
Yes. So,
Yeah.
but anyway,
Well, that's
it really is a joke kind of business. But
Oh, yeah.
But they
because
probably really going to sell them.
they really are going to sell it, and there's nothing to stop them from doing
No,
that.
I wouldn't think so.
You wouldn't think.
From warming up a previously.
we will bring you warmed up chicken
Here's a
sandwiches.
24-hour-old Chick-fil-A you can have.
The context of it makes more sense of the business model
Yes.
because I kept thinking, what does that mean? A chef is going to warm it up? What does a chef do that the rest of us can't do? Tell me the temperature you set your oven to and how long you have to heat it up.
Yes.
Yeah.
He doesn't have some blow torch he's putting over.
We
the top
actually
of the
have a
chicken.
chef, a real chef that watches our
do.
listeners.
Vegan chef.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and maybe he could tell us what potentially a chef could do that I couldn't do
To warm
with
up
a
a
Chick-fil-A.
sandwich. Yeah.
But he probably wouldn't warm up a Chick-fil-A for me because he's a vegan chef.
No, but
I'd
I
love
bet,
for him to give me a vegan version of the Chick-fil-A.
I bet he
sandwich.
can. They have that. Is it seitan? Is that the one that's it's like a wheat version of tofu? It's made out of wheat, but it shreds like chicken.
Okay.
It's like it's
I know
all gluten.
I know the
sausage.
Impossible.
Yeah.
The Impossible company does have Impossible chicken now.
Yes, yeah. This stuff. I think someone can remind me. I can't remember if that's what it is.
So if you're a vegan, can you eat chicken that's not chicken but it's made to look like chicken?
I'm sure you can.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Mhm.
If it's not made of chicken or an animal
It's
product.
not animal product.
Okay,
so
just
it's not
wondered.
animal product.
Seitan sounds a lot like Satan.
Oh, maybe that's what this
Oh,
is.
that's a
true.
good
Let me
point,
look
Joel.
that
That's
up.
a really good point.
Is Seitan from Satan?
Probably.
That's a good point.
I don't know if you know this either, but so does Santa.
Yeah.
Santa also is much.
That's what they told
you know
me
what I
growing
heard
up.
today?
What'd
Yeah,
you hear?
it's
There is
that's it.
there's a shortage of Santas this year because of COVID. That they are. I know.
Children,
Well-
don't lose hope. COVID did not
killed
take your
Santa.
Santa.
That they have already in the Atlanta area. I heard this morning. They have already booked all the Santas that they know of, and they don't normally do that. Have them all until December, but because of the age of most of their Santas,
In
which,
the list of
which is ageless.
yeah.
You know,
In the list of ridiculous things that parents have to say to their kids, I want to see that thing of, well, honey, Santa's old. He has pre-existing conditions, so he can't come out during COVID.
or there will be some people saying the China flu. And
Don't take the don't. Yeah,
Santa did not buy into the conspiracy.
that's right.
You look at all the wonderful bits of information you get from listening to us talk.
That's right. I will say I did find out Seitan, not Satan, as Joel pointed
Joel
out.
pointed out.
Is it
is made from gluten. It's
It's
a wheat
made
based
from gluten.
Yeah, it's made from gluten. The main
For all you that wanted gluten free,
Yeah,
we've
you can't
taken
eat
all of
this.
that and we made it into another thing.
I believe it's Japanese in origin, but it anyway. But yeah, I've seen videos where they do this, and basically you cook like a thing. It looks like bread, but then you can the way that the texture is, you can shred it up and you can make, and it looks like a rotisserie chicken on the inside, and it has the same texture, and you can flavor it to taste such ways. But I have not done that yet. But anyway,
All right.
it's very interesting.
Speaking of Satan,
Good segue.
Go.
Nice segue.
As
yes.
if we planned it.
Our question is about Satan. That old SNL reference that nobody gets. Okay. So here's our listener wants to know something about demons and Satan. Okay. So here's the question for today. They want to know, did anybody in the Old Testament have the spiritual power to cast out demons like Jesus and the apostles did in the New Testament? My thinking is their premise is based on the fact that they don't see anybody doing it in the Old Testament.
Right.
Which is technically true.
yeah.
That-
And I'll just say, whoever came up with this question, this is a question I had never, ever thought about.
Wow.
Me neither.
I've
When-
never, ever had that thought before.
Nope.
Okay.
So I did not directly have an answer to this question other than, So,
Yep.
So I did, and I hate to use this word right now because we've made such fun of it, but I did a little research, which means
read the article?
I read one headline. No.
I looked at a picture.
Yeah. And it looked good to me. So, okay.
I ate some Satan chicken.
Yes.
There was an
Nothing.
actual photo of Moses casting out.
So there's a scholar out there that I do not recommend most people dive into. Not because he doesn't have good stuff.
Jason getting a takedown. This is a hot
That's
take.
my hot take right there. Not because he doesn't have good stuff to say, but I think he gets off in the weeds often a lot.
His name has been removed for legal reasons.
No, I'll tell you his name
Okay.
because I think he's great. I think he's done a lot of good work, especially in the Old Testament area, and in helping us understand how the Old Testament foreshadows a lot of the things we read in the New Testament. It's just really, really thick and really, really deep, and I
very
wouldn't want to.
heady
and
not practical application.
not for the common person, and because I'm telling you, I tried for a little bit and I enjoyed some of his stuff, but then it just got over my head. Anyway, his name's Michael Heiser. He's got a lot of stuff. He's got a YouTube channel. You can watch his stuff. He's straight up. I think he's a good scholar. But he had some stuff to say about this that I thought was interesting, and it's stuff that, again, in the end, I don't think this has a whole lot of bearing on our following of Jesus, but it's interesting stuff to know.
Right.
So, and our questioner wants to know. So, one of the points that he made, I heard him talk about this very thing, is he said, you're right. He said the power to drive out demons was not something practiced very much in the Jewish world, in the Old Testament world. However, he said it's not explicitly written in the text, but tradition, in the Jewish tradition, and the scholars and the rabbis back in those days they had categorized the Psalms into certain. Psalms would be used for different purposes, okay?
Right.
So some would be strictly for worship, others for prayer, supplication, all of those kinds of lament, all of those things. And he said, and not very well known is the fact that some rabbis had categorized certain psalms to be used for the driving out of demons.
Right.
For the spiritual warfare, as we like to call it. And so he said, and all of them were Psalms of David. And that David had written these psalms for the purpose of prayers that would help in this area. Okay, so among the Old Testament scholars, they believed that the Jewish rabbis believed that David had that power from God that was given to him. He said, which then, of course, led them to the teaching that when Messiah would come, who they would, of course, refer to as the Son of David, coming through David's line, he would not only possess that power, but would then have it even greater.
Yeah.
So when Jesus comes on the scene, one of the first things he begins to do is
Right.
this spiritual warfare,
Right.
casting out of demons, and that was, to that culture, that was a big, huge sign, a big, huge symbol of saying, I'm the Son of David, the Messiah you've been waiting for, who has power to cast out demons like nobody before me and no one since. And so again, and then his giving that authority to his disciples was just an extension of that.
Right.
Because we all know that the signs that Jesus did, the miracles that Jesus did, they weren't just for the purpose of what was being done.
That's right. They were signs.
They were all signs. That's what Jesus calls them.
Yeah, that's right.
These signs that you see. Like,
That's right.
You know, like that passage when John the Baptist asked, are you the Messiah or we should wait for somebody else? And he said, well, you go tell John this. And he just lists out all the things he does.
Right. That's right.
And he uses that as one of them.
That's right.
I'm casting out demons, the blind see, the lame walk, blah, 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 the whole thing. And then the good news is being preached to the poor. You tell him that. All of those things that he lists in that list of the things he has done and is doing were signals to that culture of this is what Messiah is going to do.
That's right.
And so the new has come, the one you've been waiting for, I'm him. You don't need to wait anymore. So did anyone in the Old Testament have that spiritual power? So that's your answer. That was a tradition among the Old Testament scholars of that day. But then, of course, Jesus came and completely fulfilled that.
Yeah. With that said, do we know of a specific instance? I can't give you a specific instance, but I don't have any reason to doubt what Michael Heiser just said.
No, I don't either. I mean,
I don't have any reason, but if you're asking where in the Old Testament do you see it, well, you don't.
you don't. It comes from extra biblical
Like
readings.
I'm guessing the Talmud and stuff like that.
Yeah, the writings of the rabbis and
Right.
the teachings that you don't get specifically from the Old Testament.
Yeah.
But and a lot of tradition that comes through that he, of course, has studied and scholars like him have studied. And then you take all of those pieces and you can put them all together and you see all of this, which is, again, like I said, it's good stuff. It's interesting. It's intellectually stimulating, I guess. But in the end, it doesn't have a whole lot of bearing on us today.
Yeah.
So
It's always interesting to me, and I can't remember when I first heard this, and I'm probably going to quote it because this is not something I've spent a lot of time on, that all throughout the Old Testament, there are hundreds of years where there are no miraculous kind of things
Yes,
mentioned.
that's
You
right.
know, that there
Absolutely.
is very brief periods by very specific people that later there are messianic kind of point backs to, Elijah, Elisha, those kind of Moses. But there aren't just all the time miracles in the Old Testament.
no.
Well, and don't you think, you and I talked about this, Jason, a little bit off air before we started, but a lot of what this is, and I think when we approach the Bible, and this maybe goes to the book that I know we're going to discuss, I guess, next week on the podcast, but when we approach the Bible as if what it is primarily a reference book that has topics, and I have a glossary in the back, and so I want to know about demon possession, and then I go to this, and it gives me 32 verses to go to, and I know about demon possession because I read the story of Jesus casting out some of the demons. When we do that, we are misunderstanding the purpose of the Bible, and when I think that what the Bible is trying to do is to help me fully grasp and understand everything God does and will do, I think that's a misreading of it, because we were talking about this beforehand, often these biblical writers, even people post Jesus in the New Testament, like Paul and them, you can see them almost fumbling around to try and describe what Jesus has done. We saw Jesus die on the cross, and we know because Jesus died on the cross, something has happened that has reconciled us back to God. But then Paul uses all these different kinds of metaphors
Images to
and
describe
pictures.
what happened.
And we often take those pictures and go, that's what it is. That's exactly it. But I don't think that's what Paul's doing. I don't think when you talk about even in these Old Testament examples, they're trying to say, this thing that happened is precisely what God was up to. It's almost as if they're saying, we are running to catch up with what God is doing.
Oh, yeah.
We are recording, and you see that all over the book of Acts, which we did talked about the book of Acts, maybe a series ago, where it's not that you see people controlling God and calling God to do things. They're seeing the Holy Spirit do things, and they go, okay, I guess that's what the Holy Spirit's up to, so
That's
we
right.
got to catch up with this. And so I think that's important to understand. Where this may be helpful, this kind of knowledge may be helpful, is to better understand what people who saw Jesus and they see Jesus cast out demons, because we do know at other times it says, hey, Jesus, other people are casting out demons in your name. What do we do about that? And Jesus is like, well, if they're not they're not against us. They're for us. And that's not really like a academic answer to the question. And you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That often we come to these things with these very academic questions to a text that sometimes is just telling us a story
Well, what
about
we
something
know
God did.
Yeah, that's right. And we even say it when we teach around here. This is a biography of Jesus, but it's really not a. They don't start in typical biography form.
Right.
They're not trying to tell the complete history of his
Right.
life.
Yep.
And John, even in his account, says there are many other things I could tell you. I just decided this is all you need
Yeah.
to accomplish the purpose that Jesus came for, which is that you believe and you have life in His name. So I'm not trying to tell you everything about
Yeah.
Jesus.
Well, and it's why we have four. They're often highlighting different aspects of
Yeah.
Jesus' ministry. I remember,
And even the Old Testament, to look and think we have all the ancient, and I've heard people say things like this when you talk to them about other things. They go, everything I need to know is in the Bible. Well, okay. But you can't even understand all the ancient world that the Bible was written to
Right.
by just reading the Bible. You must read some other things to understand the world it was written to, so you can understand what the Bible is saying about the world it was written to.
Yeah. But everything you need to know about
Jesus is in the,
You're good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, if you just read those documents, or you have someone read them to you, or you just understand them.
Well, and let's be clear, there were lots and lots of Christians before there was the Bible.
Right. And there are a lot of Christians in our world right now that have never had a Bible.
Exactly.
Yes.
So there must be more to it than just knowing the Bible. So
Yeah. It's ultimately about knowing Jesus, as
Yeah.
we constantly coming back to.
Yep.
And God has the ability to do that without written text.
Really? Okay. That'll be a discussion for another day. So that's what we got for this week. Next week, we're going to jump back into the book, How Not to Read the
How
Bible.
Not to Read the Bible.
We're going to tackle some misperceptions of
Things
topics.
that people, the ultimate point of that book is that sometimes reading the Bible can destroy your faith if you do not read it correctly.
Yep.
Right.
And there are things in the Bible that often people who've not spent much time in it, they're shocked when they see them and they become roadblocks. And so we're going to talk about some of those problems.
So some hot topics over the next few weeks.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
That'll make you come back right there. Okay. So we'll see y'all next week. Have a great one.
Bye.